I want to make it clear that it is the court's intention that the defendant never set foot in free society again.
In a courtroom that held the world's attention, a case unfolded that would change the course of justice forever. What began as a high-profile crime soon turned into a legal battle of epic proportions, where every piece of evidence and every testimony could alter the fate of the accused. With the eyes of the public on every move, the question wasn't just about guilt or innocence. It was about whether the justice system could rise above public opinion and deliver a fair verdict. What happened next would make history. The case that captured the world's attention. The court case began with a crime so shocking and brutal that it immediately captivated the world's attention.
McVeigh is specifically charged with having delivered the bomb to the Murrah building in a truck that he rented under a false name.
The victim, someone whose identity and status made them well known, was the target of a heinous act that seemed to defy logic and morality. As details of the crime emerged, it became clear that the case wasn't just about a single act of violence. It symbolized deeper issues within society. The media quickly seized on the story, turning it into a global phenomenon, with people from all over the world closely following every development. The public was divided, with emotions running high on both sides, as the question of justice weighed heavily on everyone's minds. What made the case even more gripping was its wider implications. It wasn't just about determining guilt or innocence. It was about setting a precedent for the future of justice. This trial was an opportunity for the legal system to demonstrate its commitment to fairness and accountability, regardless of the victim's or accused's status. The tension in the courtroom, combined with the widespread media coverage, transformed the case into a symbolic battle for justice, pushing the boundaries of how legal proceedings are perceived. As the trial went on, it became apparent that the outcome would have far-reaching effects, influencing how similar cases would be handled in the future. The legal teams, a battle of titans. In this landmark case, two formidable legal teams faced off in a battle that would have lasting implications. On one side, the defense team, consisting of top-tier lawyers known for their tactical brilliance, worked tirelessly to dismantle the prosecution's case. They focused on raising doubt, poking holes in the evidence, and presenting alternative explanations for the crime. The defense was determined to protect their client, arguing that the case wasn't as straightforward as it appeared. They used every legal maneuver at their disposal, from questioning the reliability of witnesses to challenging the admissibility of certain pieces of evidence, all in an effort to avoid a conviction. On the opposite side, the prosecution team was equally determined to see justice served. Led by seasoned attorneys with a reputation for aggressive legal tactics, the prosecution meticulously presented the evidence, aiming to establish a clear and undeniable case against the accused. They relied on a combination of physical evidence, witness testimonies, and expert analysis to strengthen their case. The prosecution's strategy was to show that there was no room for doubt and that the accused should be held accountable for the crime. As the trial progressed, it became clear that this case was more than just a simple legal proceeding. It was a high-stakes battle between two equally skilled teams, each fighting for what they believed to be the right outcome. The unexpected twist, key testimonies that changed the course. As the case progressed, the momentum shifted dramatically with a series of unexpected testimonies. Just when it seemed like the defense had gained the upper hand, a surprise witness came forward with crucial information that no one had anticipated. This individual's account contradicted the defense's version of events, shedding new light on the situation. The witness's testimony was compelling, raising questions about the credibility of the defense's arguments and creating doubt in the minds of both the jury and the public. The revelation forced both legal teams to reassess their strategies and quickly adapt to the evolving circumstances of the case. This unforeseen development added layers of complexity to the trial, turning the courtroom into a battleground of competing narratives. While the defense tried to discredit the new testimony, the prosecution seized on the opportunity, using it to solidify their case and show the jury that the truth was far more damning than anyone had realized. As the legal teams scrambled to address the twist, it became clear that the trial was far from predictable. The shocking turn of events reminded everyone involved that in high-profile cases, even the most well-planned strategies could be undone by a single unexpected factor, ultimately changing the course of justice in ways that no one could have foreseen. The moral dilemma, public opinion, and the courtroom. As the trial progressed, the case quickly became a focal point for public opinion, with people passionately weighing in on both sides of the argument. Protests erupted outside the courthouse, as supporters of the accused rallied for justice, while others, deeply affected by the crime, demanded a swift conviction. The media, ever hungry for sensationalism, amplified these divisions, framing the case in dramatic terms that resonated with the public. The courtroom became a microcosm of society's broader debates on morality, justice, and fairness, with the outcome of the case seen as an important reflection of these values. The influence of public opinion on the trial created a moral dilemma for the legal teams and the judge alike. On one hand, the court was bound to follow the law, ensuring that the proceedings were fair and just. On the other hand, the intense public pressure and widespread sentiment surrounding the case made it difficult to ignore the societal demand for justice. It was evident that the verdict would have far-reaching consequences, not just for the accused, but for the community at large. This tension between legal principles and public emotions added a layer of complexity to the trial, making it clear that the pursuit of justice wasn't simply about legal facts. It was about balancing the law with the moral values that society held dear. The verdict, a moment that made history. After months of intense legal battles, the jury finally reached its verdict, a moment that would go down in history. The atmosphere in the courtroom was thick with tension as the judge prepared to read the decision. The fate of the accused rested in the hands of the jury, whose decision had the power to send shockwaves through society. As the judge read the verdict, a hushed silence fell over the room. The announcement was met with mixed reactions: relief, anger, disbelief. For many, the outcome was a testament to the strength of the justice system, while for others, it raised questions about whether true justice had been served. The historical significance of the verdict wasn't just in the immediate reactions, but in its long-term effects. The case set a precedent that would influence future rulings and legal procedures. It wasn't just about the guilt or innocence of one individual, it was about establishing a clear message regarding the values that the legal system should uphold. The case highlighted the complex relationship between law, morality, and public opinion, making the verdict a turning point in the evolution of justice. In the years that followed, the case became a subject of study and debate as legal professionals and citizens alike reflected on the lessons learned from this extraordinary trial. The legacy, how the case changed the legal system. The impact of this landmark case extended far beyond the courtroom, shaping the legal landscape for years to come. The verdict not only influenced how similar cases were handled, but also led to reforms in certain legal practices. The case became a benchmark for future legal decisions, prompting a reevaluation of legal procedures, the role of public opinion, and the standards for presenting evidence in high-profile cases. Courts began to adopt more stringent protocols to ensure that justice was not only done, but was seen to be done fairly, especially in cases that attracted intense public scrutiny. Legal experts and scholars studied the case to understand the nuances of the trial, influencing both legal education and the application of law in subsequent cases. In addition to its influence on legal procedures, the case also had a profound effect on how society viewed the justice system. It sparked debates about fairness, accountability, and the balance between the law and societal expectations. Many saw the case as a test of whether the legal system could rise above public pressure and deliver a just outcome, regardless of the surrounding noise. Over time, the case became a symbol of how justice, when properly executed, can transcend personal bias and societal divisions. The legacy of this case, therefore, continues to resonate in modern legal proceedings, reminding both the public and the judiciary of the importance of impartiality and the enduring fight for justice. The case that made history left a lasting imprint on both the legal system and society as a whole. It reminded us that justice is not just about the law, but about the principles that guide it, especially when under intense public scrutiny. As the case set new precedents, it encouraged a deeper reflection on how we balance legal fairness with societal values. The legacy of this landmark trial continues to shape the way we view justice, ensuring that, in the end, the truth always prevails, no matter the challenges it faces.